flag, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Steve, please stand forever.
Father, we just come to you tonight and ask for your guidance on this association, that we make the right decisions and that this association flourishes. We ask for those that aren't with us tonight that they be safe and you just keep us all safe here too. We thank you for all you do for us, and we just pray for your guidance. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Everybody had a chance to look over the minutes from the previous meeting. If so, I'll take a motion to approve these.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Financial report.
Okay, there's a copy at the table if you're interested in picking one up. We're looking at the actual budget. I also have the actual to actual year to year, and we're looking pretty good in all the areas. Snack bar, we're doing better. Tank pumping, we're down a little bit. Golf course, we're doing better than last year. The other areas, assessments is the main item. We're doing much better in there. Administrative, we're doing better there. We're spending less money. Security, we're a little over. That house, we're a little over. The general maintenance, we're a little over on that one. And miscellaneous, we're doing well. Overall, we're in pretty good shape as far as the net income, $216,889. So last year, at this time, it was $173,159. So,
Very good. Steve? You're up. Yes, let's get a motion to approve financial report.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Whoops. What?
It's just all
Okay, Steve.
Yes, I don't have a whole lot. This pool's still on schedule. He's still saying all he's got left is to plaster it, and he's putting the water in it the same day. So we still got to run the electric out to the filter. I've got the electrician lined up for that, so pool should still be open next week yet.
Maybe.
He's helping with the electric. Kitchen, it's about the same as what it was. We got a wire run for a box. We're having a heck of a time getting our amp box in here. Shipping troubles. Supposed to be here Wednesday. I don't see the kitchen being in by Memorial Weekend like we were hoping. But the equipment is ordered. Equipment's supposed to be here by Saturday. My help's ready to do the walls whenever we get that stuff. So it's going to be in as quick as we can.
Real quick, can I say something? So there's been 5 or 6 members that have all put in $500 to $1,000 for all that equipment. So Cody Hallstrom, James Malico, Chris Eklund, myself, Chad Bover, and Miles Ross. So if you know those guys, we put in about 7, 8, 9 grand from the golf tournament, the redneck golf tournament on top of that. So you see him, buy him here.
Good deal.
I still haven't done anything with a codes assistant for the codes enforcement yet. I had 2 people that talked to me about it. I was going to make a decision, hire one of them. One of them already worked for us, and I really didn't want to take that away. And their husband and wife. So, and now she's got a broken knee and a broken arm. And he's home with her just till she can get around. So I'm back to square one for right now. I may end up doing some of it on my own, try to, till she gets a little better, see how long that lasts, and then go that route. I don't really want to have to put it out there to people and take interviews. I know this person would do a great job, so I'm kind of on a hold right there on that. One thing that I want to do, and I don't know how to go about it, I don't know if we need to do it, I need to talk to the board about it. When I made the budget out this year, I already had figured we were going to have pool income. We didn't have a line item on the pool, on income. So I put money into miscellaneous income for the pool. I would like to add a line item under the pool for pool income, but that would basically be taking it out of miscellaneous income.
Like, what income do we have so far, like donations?
If nothing, so.
Okay.
It will be when we get
Passes,
pool
yeah.
opens, yes, yearly passes and daily. But I'd kind of like to do that instead of getting mixed up into the miscellaneous, where it's a little more.
Gives me a plan, yeah, that's good.
We'll see where we're at.
We talked about that on our committee, and from
Yes.
a financial standpoint, I've already talked about it, I'm fine with it. I think that's a really good idea, putting that in there.
Do we need to vote on, do we board need to vote on that to do that?
I don't believe so. It's the budget that's been presented, and we need all the budget, so.
Okay. Okay, that's all I had.
Okay, under old business, Harding's contract, did you ever get the detailed billing for?
No. And he talked to me tonight, I guess he stopped by the office when we were still in here setting up. He thought I'd already gone, so he called me. Said his wife wasn't feeling well, he didn't think he was gonna make it. He had to apologize again, because he said he hasn't done anything for us. He's got like 2 things pending, a quieting of a title, and there's one more item, an eviction, basically. And he hadn't done anything with either one of the two. That's basically.
Why, title's been over 90 days.
68 weeks.
Yes, it has. So's the eviction. And I actually had told him that the original eviction person is gone, and he sold the trailer out to another person unknowing that they're not paying dues or nothing, so I want him to be picked up. So I told him, I said, if you want to take that trailer with you, it's ours. You can take it, but it has to go outside the association. What's he do? He finds another guy to buy it. The guy paid him $600 for it, a mobile home. And it's not his to give. So now this guy needs evicted. So that's all in his hands still.
Could you
All right.
entertain a question, since it's under the heading of party contract?
Okay.
I'm guessing that's the 30-day extension on contract, or is that a lengthier contract?
It was the last time that we brought up the Harding well, not the last time, but the time before that we brought up the Harding contract. He knew that he had screwed up, and he volunteered to work for 30 days at no pay to get a couple things cleared up. Last month, according to the minutes, I wasn't here, but according to the minutes, they extended that contract the same as the previous 30 days at no pay. Well, no pay, still haven't got anything. We've been waiting on a detailed billing from when he did bill us, and we haven't received that. So that's the reason everything's kind of in contention. I mean, the man's got a lot on his plate, I understand that.
Should I wait till the open session?
Go right ahead,
If,
as long as it's with Harding.
yes,
Okay.
specific to Harding. You get what you pay for. We haven't paid him anything, and we're getting nothing.
Right.
I don't know what, the term, you said it's messed up, whatever. Don't really need to know the details of that, because I think I've gone to a lot of board meetings, and that chair is empty a lot that as a board, we need somebody that's dependable, we need to pay our bills.
Well,
I know you got a lot of.
exactly, that's what we've been raising this up for discussion. And, I mean, frankly, we really don't have to have an attorney here at every meeting. But we have to have somebody that we can call and will respond to our calls.
And do the things we ask.
And do the things
Yeah.
that we ask, and
My
that he
point
could
is-
possibly get paid for.
My point exactly, the history of not being dependable, and I'm gonna get back to you, and I'm checking on it, and this is gonna be this, and, I mean, it's not like, this is just a couple of months, this is a long history, and I just think if I don't bring it up, maybe nobody's going to have a full discussion of the situation. And I've discussed it when he was sitting in that chair, so it ain't about all of a sudden I'm piping up because the man's not here.
Right.
I've told him, you know.
Now I have to.
So,
And, Steve's actually got a contact for another attorney that is HOA specific. You haven't actually contacted him though, right?
I mean,
I would make a suggestion that we go ahead and contact that attorney.
And there's actually two, Tim talked to one that was real good to get with him and his HOA more with HOA than anything, right, Tim?
80% of the business.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't want to pick on Burke because he is, and I'm not over his head intellectually, but work-wise.
Yes.
So I would love to have him be the attorney because he's here, he lives here, that's awesome. I had the same situation you did. I called him once a week for 8 weeks, trying to get him to bridge for our gig, to help us out. And 4 weeks later after the gig, he called and said, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I mean, he apologized. But that doesn't hurt us as a business.
Right.
Well, I think it's time that we get more serious about investigating.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. Dust control, you got something on that?
I've got bad news on dust control. I contacted the people that do Lynn County, because I know they've been out here before to Sugar Valley for sure, maybe Hidden Valley, years ago. Got to talk to the people who bid it and everything, and she said, I'll have to talk to my boss. Talked to the boss, because all I was wanting was a price per foot. They said, we won't even come to Sugar or Hidden Valley. Too many hills and too many curves. I said, I could probably get you 100 customers. That's gonna be between 100 and 200 feet, road feet. She said, he just won't do it. It would be a lucrative business for somebody that's got a water tank that makes up calcium chloride, that's got a sprayer on the back, to go spray. I know of a ton of people that are hitting me up about the dust control.
Is that got, calcium chloride, is that our only choice?
Is that our only source?
No, only choice, use calcium chloride.
Well, that would be my choice. I mean, that's all I've ever been around. Only Fleet County, that's all we ever use. And I know it's not gonna hurt the water.
Right.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yes, sir.
what size tank does someone need to be able to?
You can do it with a 500-gallon tank, I don't make enough trips.
Yeah.
Down here to the state, I mean, pick up the material.
No, you'd order material through a chemical supplier
Yeah.
and then blend it with water.
I own a cleaning company, exterior cleaning, we got water tanks on my trailers. And Paul here's got experience in doing that.
Put your card out, man.
Excuse me?
Put your card out.
I would, I mean, I'm fully booked out up here in Kansas City. We're new to your area here, we just want to.
No, I did, some equipment operator for Lebanon County. I laid dust control pad strips and all that. There you go. They did, I don't know if you got what they did out here, but we laid AP3 with the grader, and then we, you know, put the material down on that.
Right.
And
Right.
I don't know if you guys do that here, or,
I know with Lynn County, when we did it, we had to, the people would have to call in and tell how many feet they had.
Yeah.
It was like a 200-foot minimum at that time.
Yeah.
With the county. But we would go and mark in front of their place, and make the grader man made sure and made it pass through there and made it right, because it's gonna have to stay off summer. You can't disturb that with the grader, or it's, the dust control's gone. But we have to go blade that area, and then you come through with the dust control. You can always tell it's darker, other than when it rains. It's darker, and you know where those spots are. You just don't blade them. They don't get bladed for summer. The only time we ever bladed them in the county is if we've got torrential downpours and it just ruined the road, and we had to blade them.
well, I actually spoke to my wife about that, so that'd be a neat thing to get into out here if they don't do it. I didn't know that
There's
you guys
a-
were having it done, but.
Well, we're trying to get it done, but we can't get any commercial business to come in and do it. So if somebody wants to do it, put your card out, we'd advertise for you so that, you know, put it on the website or whatever.
Yes.
And figure out your price per foot, linear foot that you'd have to have. You know, probably a couple dollars or whatever, $2 or $3 a foot. And
Yeah, it was $2 or $3 a foot, and I think the minimum was 100 foot, or 300 feet up there.
well, average lot, you know,
Right.
50 to 70 feet, and people own 2 or 3 lots, you know, figure average would be 100 to 150 feet.
Right.
And if you want to keep the dust away from your lot, you're going to do 150 feet, even if it's in front of somebody else's lot.
Do you have to have a power spray, or can you use a gravity flow?
Grab.
I'd say you go gravity.
Well, they don't use that up on county.
Yeah, it's
It's
power. And it does, it makes,
Does a better man job.
it atomizes better, so it's finer.
They haven't done that in years.
No, they do it every year, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this year's price, they told me, I didn't call the county, and I think they said it was either $1.70 or $1.90 per foot, running foot.
But they have semi trucks come in, do all their.
Yeah.
Greg?
So, not to step on these guys, but if you don't have any luck at all, you might reach out to some of the surrounding counties. Usually there's luck to be made, somewhere to fill that void, so maybe some people in service in other counties to get a look at it.
Well, you talk to every company, you call. All right, pump truck rates. There's been some discussion in the past. As you all know, we've got a new pump truck. Tom, we got all set and done with license, insurance, taxes, all the BS that goes with the truck. It ended up about $60,000 for the truck. What we've discussed in the past is maybe, if you prepay, the rates are gonna go up, okay, number one. But what we've discussed in the past, before the rates go up, allowing people to prepay for, say, 10 pumps. Right now, the rate's $70 a pump, so if you want to prepay for 10 pumps, it'd be $700. If we could get 100 people to do $70, well then we'd recoup the money without having to go borrow the money and pay interest on it. Naturally, we've got some expense out of that because the truck still has to run, you still have to pay the driver, blah, blah, blah. So that's just a scenario, and then that would save you from the rate increase, whatever we decide to set the rate at. Steve and I have discussed several different scenarios and talked about, okay, run this option for a month till next month's board meeting. Anybody wants to sign up for 10 pumps, pay their $700, they'll be good for 10 pumps. At that point, increase it, we've discussed $80 and $85, and then a year from now, it would go on up to 100. We're way behind on truck rates right now. I mean, I'm in commercial business. I have a back truck. Right now, my back truck is at $100 now. Granted, I'm not into pumping septic tanks, and I wouldn't pump septic tanks for $100 an hour. But, I mean, for hauling salt water or whatever I haul, it's $100 an hour to run my back truck. So, Shadden's has already went to $100 an hour, so at 85 is still a cheaper rate. But, what does the board think, or?
I think it's a great idea, and I know that based off the feedback we got from the last meeting, a lot of people really like it also.
So so you get it at $70, versus last meeting, we talked about you buy a group of pumps for X number of dollars, and then you get 1 or 2 pumps free.
Yeah, there wouldn't be any free pumps, it'd be just $70. You get it at $70, and that,
You don't get the.
you don't pay the rate increase.
If it goes to 85, it's essentially like,
That's
hey,
good.
it's a deep pump.
And next month's meeting, depending on what we set the rate at, if we set it at 85 at next month, then you'll still have 10 pumps no matter what.
Yeah. And even if 50 people sign up versus 100.
Exactly,
Yeah, I mean,
exactly, it's just gonna save that much interest.
Yeah.
You know,
How big is the pump truck?
2,000 gallons.
Okay, so
You can, and I install holding tanks around the lake, and I've already have customers that's up in the size of the tank, 2,000 gallon tank. There's a few 2,000 gallon tanks in right now. But usually, 90% of the tanks I've installed in the last year has been 1,500 gallon tanks. Since we bought the new pump truck, I've had more inquiries about 2,000 gallon tanks than I ever had, and the only cost is $250. If I was putting the holding tank in for you, for my standard price to the 2,000 gallon price is $250, just the price of the tank. So,
he's got a family. And
you know, if you're living here full time, you're pumping once or twice a month. I mean, you're going to save a bunch of money by going to the bigger tank.
Is it usually just black water or black and gray water that's going into these?
Everything's supposed to go to the holding tank. 100%.
Even if you filter, can you filter?
100% of all waste is supposed to go to the holding tank.
Okay, no filtration systems can be set up? Okay.
No, nothing should be discharged at all.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get a hold of Steve about, and I was just gonna ask you if it was.
That's county law as well as lake law.
I got no
Well,
problem.
at least that, where you put rock and sand,
Yeah.
and the water reaches out.
Yeah.
The lake goes.
Now, back in the day, before the county had codes, and this doesn't matter whether it's Lynn or Bourbon County, you could have an aerator tank and have a filter system and have a leach field. In fact, my neighbor down in Hidden Valley, they have the original clubhouse that they sold lots out of, and it has an aerator tank with a leach field.
There's a couple of them out here.
Right. There's still a few of them left. Most of them left their tanks go to heck and didn't keep the motors up or whatever, and they ended up having to put a holding tank in. Because if you have to redo that, they will not allow you to put a aerator tank. The county won't allow you to put an aerator tank back.
Has to be a new code. I did run some figures, even if they say this, because, it costs us somewhere in the neighborhood between $50 and $60 a pump right now. The county or the city is letting us, because I told them it was a 2,000 gallon tank. But I said, we're still pumping 1,500 gallons a pump, like we always did. So they told us we could use the same car. If we start pumping 2,000 gallons, I imagine that rate will go up. They'll issue a different car. They didn't tell me how much. So I'm saying I know we got $50 in it. 60's more probable is what we're gonna have, maybe 65 per pump. That's man hours, fuel, insurances, up and you don't know about upkeep on them, but just an average, I'd say it's gonna be 60, 65. Okay, if we take the 60,000 that we're talking about, $700 is what we're talking here for 100 people. And they're locked in at that. If we go up just to $80, the 10, we're looking at $10,000 basically. If we get the 100 people, we're looking at $10,000 in interest on a $60,000 deal. Our line of credit is at 5.95%. I'm not saying we got the money, but at 60,000 at 5.95 at 3 years, that comes up where we paid $5,662. That's way less than the 10,000 that we're gonna give up in doing the deal to the people. I don't know, I mean, I'm thinking if we go up to just even go up to 80 and we get 80 people, that's 64,000. That's enough to pay for the truck. And, give them one pump free. So you're looking at 80 times 80, that's $3,600. But I don't think we can get enough people to give $800, even though that's 10%. They're making on their money, but there's just some things to think about there.
Do what?
Look at that rock, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, what we're doing at the 10, we're trying to get the money to pay that truck off. Yeah.
We can break it down to 5 minutes. You can do 5 more for $10, 350 or 700.
It's just for 30 days till the next board meeting.
So then,
Hey,
I think it's a great idea. Communicating this to the membership is going to be a challenge. You'll have all the naysayers who haven't been to meetings coming out of the woodwork.
That's their fault.
the only way we have is put it out on the internet and post a sign out front at Clubhouse. Anybody that calls in for tank pump, the girls can tell.
With as much detail as you can and the rationale behind it. Because you know how things go, it's going to explode on Facebook. And away we go.
But if something is approved tonight, anytime somebody calls in to have a tank pump, the girls at the front desk can tell them, you know, hey, we've got this deal, and the rates are gonna go up. Tell them what the rate is gonna be. If you want prepay 10 pumps, you can at this old rate. So,
And set the rate as of July 15th, so that first, the rate of $80.
well, whatever the next meeting is. Won't make any ice now.
So you'll have so many, you're paying for 10 months. So like we're thinking about maybe going to Arizona for the winter. So that'll still be good for those tips. There won't be a date limit on that.
Won't be a day limit, you'll have 10 pumps, girls keep a record of it.
Sounds good.
But you'll lock in the $70 rate, okay, for 10 pumps. And then whenever you start pumping again, it'll be whatever the rate is at that time. I mean, say it takes you 2 years, and the board decides to increase the rate again in a year's time, well then, you might be paying $100. But you'll be saving that much the whole time.
So what is it going up to?
We haven't decided yet.
80 or 85.
We haven't voted on that, that's what we're discussing. I haven't had a motion yet, so I can't do anything.
Well, equipment's going to the roof just like everything else, so, I mean, those trucks are.
Well, we really got a good deal on the truck. This truck was put together just 2 years before we bought it, and it was only used for 1 year. The original purchaser of the truck that put the truck together gave $98,000 for the truck. And when Steve and I went and looked at it, we offered him 45, and ended up buying the truck for 52.5. And the time we got the taxes and insurance, all BS, now it needs set tires, okay? It's gonna need tires by the first year probably. Well, it ended up about $6 grand.
What's your, what's the allocation, I mean, the piece of the, for that, what are they?
$100.
100 to 150.
100 to 150. If you're down $10, there's some that'll charge up to 300.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why you have to on the truck, be the easiest out
I mean, it's a benefit for the member. And our truck only pumps for the member. It does not pump outside the association. We've had people stop the truck before and say, hey, we can come pump my septic tank or do this, I need to have a tank inspection. We won't do it.
I got Danny running out of my ears.
Right. They don't do it.
Steve, we talked about a couple of different ideas. The one that Dave talked about and the other we talked about, pay so much and get so many pumps. What do you think?
I really don't know. I mean, there's gotta be a happy medium there. If we set it up at 10 pumps for $700, and we go up to $85, we're talking $15,000. It's what we'll end up losing.
But he's saying we're gonna lose $10,000 or $15,000 and it costs how much in interest?
If we just use the line of credit, it's gonna cost $5,600.
So, I mean, if you look at that number-wise, I mean, that was a great idea, we've been kicking it around for a couple of months, but if you look at the numbers don't show that that's a good idea. The numbers show borrowing is better the way to go than.
There's also a peace offering to people, right, before you
It
go out
is.
there and
You're
say,
right.
if we know we're gonna get 100, most likely next year, meet in the middle of this year, 85, next year it's going to 100. You're kind of giving them a lot of time to say, what do I want to do, how do I want to do it?
I'd entertain a motion if anybody wants to make a motion if you're ready for that.
I make a motion to prepay 10 pumps for $700 and effective July 1st, the new pump rate.
Next meeting,
Next meeting?
next meeting.
Deal. I make a motion to set 10 pumps for $700 to be prepaid.
And the new rate to be what?
What was that? New rate to be $85, it'll be next meeting.
So nobody has any larger tanks than 2,000 that you know of here?
They do. Now, in years past, I've had availability to a 2,500 gallon tank. I've only set one in 25 years to get that insured out.
Now, what do you make, 2 trips, or what do you just
No,
leave?
our pump is what our truck will hold.
That's.
If we use the 1,500 gallon one that's gonna be a backup, it'll be 1,500 gallon.
You just leave the remainder?
Yeah. We're only gonna, once we get that back
It's
fixed,
a truckload.
it's a truckload. Once we get that back fixed, all we're gonna do is maybe 1 week out of the month or something like that, just to keep it running. But it's gonna be a backup truck, basically.
I wouldn't think that would be a problem pumping that with all the gray water going in there that you have. You know,
Not a problem
it's not like a
pumping it.
septic tank where your gray water's leaving.
It's not a problem pumping it, but trucks break down.
Yeah.
That's what happened to our last one.
Yeah.
We have a second on the motion.
Not yet.
Before you pull the trigger on that, you said you had a check where you're dumping this stuff, this is what the.
That's how much it will go up.
Right now, they're still allowing that, but if we start putting in a lot of 2,000 gallon tanks, dumping a full load, then they may increase the rate.
Right, so just with that, be aware of that. Vote your vote, just be aware of that.
Well, it doesn't matter as far as how the vote goes. I mean, they might do that anyway, whether we increase the rate or not.
I'm just saying, if you lock it in at this set price, and then your cost goes up,
Right.
you're gonna take a short on that.
Well, then keep them from raising it again.
The only thing that is locked in is the people that prepay. And I mean, it's a bargain for the people that prepay.
So the motion is by next meeting, the rate to be $85, and then you have to prepay by the next meeting as well, to your $10,
Yes, sir.
$700.
Be advertised on the internet, girls up front, whenever somebody calls in, we'll tell them, hey, you can prepay, rates are going up. I mean,
And that gives
they
everybody-
will just have to tell them, kind of in their head, be sure to tell everybody that this is happening.
There's gotta be some accountability too. You gotta check the internet, check Facebook, you know what I mean? You gotta,
Word of mouth.
Yeah,
Word of mouth. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a fast.
well, that's why Dave's putting on the internet, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Get ready. I'll guarantee you it's coming.
I will second the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
I,
Aye. Nay, against? Nay. 2-1, motion
And I
carries.
want to be clear, I'm saying nay because I think it's better for the association to go with the interest rather than to go with the payments.
With the prepayment.
With the prepayments. We're going to come out better financially, and we're going to understand where I look at that. I can't vote for it.
So that we understand.
This board is in favor of the association, even if financially,
yeah.
doesn't make sense.
I say that was a good day.
You know, you guys, we know what happens when you don't have a truck. You got a truck.
Okay, do we need an executive session for anything?
I think we kind of already talked about it, work, right? I think that's all.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much open session.
If Steve's
You got anything else for executive session we need to discuss? No? Okay, we'll move on to open forum. I want to remind you to keep your comments to 2 minutes or less. If you have a percentage or complaints or whatever you have to Steve first, please refrain as much as possible. So with that,
I have a board. I don't know. I want the board's feedback and your guys' feedback. So I would love to see a community dock be built that you could have lifts, you could rent out slips, 6, 8, 10 slips. Maybe get rid of a third of the swim beach and build something. You could build it for $50,000 to $80,000. People will pay
no, you can't. Not 6 to 10 slips, you can't.
What do you think it would cost?
Double slip dock, covered dock with a small swim deck on it right now is going for
Oh, I wouldn't even think of lumber. I was.
$50. No, this is concrete with galvanized frame. Guaranteed.
So you said double slip.
That's 2 slips with walkway, concrete.
So if
deck.
you wanted 6 to 8 slips, and you just wanted minimal, you're probably thinking 120 to 150 for the dog.
And if you're talking the, swimming for that area, I don't know, like a boat party last
Well, that was my first thought. I was just thinking somewhere, I think a lot of people would use that if you had it, if they could keep their boats on the water. I mean, if you go to Lake Perry, which is a small lake, they're getting $350 to $800 a month for slip grounds over the summer. So that was something I was.
So you're talking about slips people can leave their boats in?
Exactly.
That's not on the water? Okay. Yes.
That beach is pretty small. And if you got people in boats, we talked to recently meetings about drinking and boats. You got people coming in there drinking, they're bringing their boat in there, you got kids swimming in the beach, you're cutting the beach down. I'm sorry.
No, that's why I wanted.
If you go someplace else,
That's why I wanted to pick you guys on it. Is I know a lot of people I know that would buy a lot, buy a $30,000 boat, if they can keep it in the slip and just come ski all day and hang out and stuff like that. So,
The other thing I would throw out is, if you're gonna have the slips, then you're gonna have to put fueling there, right next to the beach.
true. So, yeah, these are all things that. See, I'm a simple-minded guy. Just see you guys.
I agree.
I'm gonna motion to scratch that from the record.
You had your hand up? Did you? Earlier?
No,
No?
yeah, I guess we can cover the RV ports.
That's,
Yeah.
that's, I basically had that under new business, building permits and definitions.
Oh, okay. All right. Wait till we get to that.
Yeah.
All right.
Rod,
Question on the Hidden Valley's new dock, is there progress on that, time frame?
Yes, I was gonna wait till the committee, but for committee reports, I'm going to give it right now. Vicki checked on this as soon as she got home, because we hadn't heard anything on it. She emailed the man says, the dock frames are welded up at the galvanizing plant. They are super backed up and busy. I should have it back next week. I will shoot for the first week of June to install.
Nice.
So that's,
So probably won't make Memorial Day, but
4th of July.
yeah,
there you
yeah.
go.
There you go.
I'd say first week or two of June, they should have it.
Good enough.
That's from them people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Read.
Yeah, there's been some, stuff on Facebook, questions about time period that wakes are allowed on the lake. And there's been a lot of stuff put out there, and none of it was really accurate. But
I think it's
the voting
10 a.m.
regulations, they were posted on the website, saying from 10 a.m. until sunset. That's when wakes are allowed. And that's been what it is since I've been down here.
I believe that's,
That is what,
Correct.
that's what's on the website.
Yes.
It's 10 a.m. to sunset. So I think the association should put something out, letting people know. And I'd also suggest that when people get their permits for the votes.
They are getting a copy of the.
I was.
I was.
Oral, I got a copy.
I wasn't.
It might be a good idea to sign something, sign like a waiver of liability saying, hey, you know the rules, you know?
I've never been given the regulations.
Well, I'll help Steve rewrite what you signed for votes, ATVs.
When you get your stickers.
Yes, and so that will be on the website.
Doesn't it state in that I have read the rules and regulations of the
Yes.
lake?
No,
I mean,
nobody reads that, let alone the regulations.
Well, I did.
No. The way it's literally the permit you sign for your boat, for your golf cart, for a building permit, for every one of the ones we issue. We redrafted those, and I say we, because I help Steve, redrafted those so that when you sign it, you first admit you are the owner, you read the governing documents, this wide, right? And you agree that those, you abide by them when you are subject to them, which makes you subject to fines. So we haven't been able to implement that on the website yet because we're not somebody who could adjust the website. But those are all in progress.
Now, I will admit, I have rode way before 10 a.m.
Uh-oh.
at the bathroom. When they say go, we go.
Talking to Steve about this,
Happens to no way.
I think on the website, and my understanding is that Karen's daughter works on that, and she's been involved in early school, finishing up school.
She's done with college.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's something else that everybody always asks about too, we'll just clear there, Sea-Doos. Sea-Doos are on the water all day, they can be there all day. A lot of people, there used to be a 4 p.m. restriction
There
about
used to
No,
be.
10, 12 years ago.
11 to 4.
They changed that.
It's not in the voting regulations.
still there?
That was the original
I'm sure.
thing, 11 to 4. They amended it, I thought,
Jet skis.
years ago.
I'm good either way, but I'd like to know.
Yeah.
It's not in the voting regulations that are posted on the website. And I've seen that somewhere.
Yeah, they changed it at one point. When I say they, I mean, it was adjusted at one point.
Well, in 2019, the voting regulations, that's the date that's on the website, 2019. So maybe that's when it happened.
1976.
82. I can't read that line. Oh, 09.
Yeah, they've been
So
changed.
there's 2019 regulations on the website.
Would it be a bad idea to post those regulations in several different places around the lake?
What are we gonna do if they get vandalized the third day?
Well, the best place, right, well, of course, there's a lot of people who leave their boats on the water year round, but, at the boat ramp, put up a board with the regulations of the lake.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have the buoys to do that, with a 2x2 sign on them, you can put something on those.
And a lot of people, we're new, they really do want to follow the rules, they just don't know. We're new to the area, we don't know anything, you know, we're just coming here, and a lot of people won't come into a board meeting and sit.
Yeah.
If I saw them, I'd obey them, you know what I mean?
Right.
I knew what they were.
Anything else? Oh. Okay, we'll move on to new business, building permits.
Building permits, definitions. Had a couple of building permits this past week. So, with yours being one, two of them are RV ports. Here's the other one, okay, have them both.
Yeah.
That were denied. And they said because of the definitions. And I'm still trying to find where the definitions would, and the definitions state under carport, which I guess is the same as an RV port. But under carport,
Steve,
find it,
can I
24.
shortcut this?
Chip Barker, you?
Will you allow me to shortcut?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I work on the architectural committee at the so I know 5 on this. So the way I'm gonna shortcut it is, under the covenants and restrictions, Article 3F, it says that no mobile home, camper, trailer, or any temporary structure, by our definitions, are temporary structures. Okay? Any temporary structure shall be placed on any lot outside the mobile home or camper section. I personally misread it. My issue, my fault, my bad. Because it goes on to say, except when used by the owner for his guest or for temporary camping.
That's what we were gonna bring up, we read that.
Yeah, okay, so if you're talking about a carport on a house which is open and you put your car under it, that's a carport. And I can tell you that our committee, a couple of our members feel strongly that carports on a house that just collect stuff that you see and it gets good for the community pretty fast. I think that's different than a port over, and the rules, the covenants say, unless it's used for temporary camping. I'm gonna suggest to you that I personally, as chairman of that committee, made an error in my recommendation to our committee about RV ports. And so if you will allow us to relook at it, we will do that.
What's the difference in a temporary?
Can I just let you know kind of where we're coming from? So you can kind of consider we're new to the area, we sold our house in Kansas City, we're moving here, we're looking forward to getting down here. Been in cities for 20 years and I'm tired of it. So anyway, but the thing is, my family has plans to build a cabin on the lot. We bought, there's a corner lot right here by the lake. Building prices are really high, and we're just, I'm gonna wait, I'm just not gonna spend the amount of money to build a cabin right now. But we have a nice RV, we would like a port to put over it, it does protect it. We'll submit and obey whatever you guys decide, but it would protect our property. Just letting you know, that's our intention.
Rob?
This is coming from the non-committee member, Rod. There is, I mean, I don't think it's a cut and dry issue within the committee. I'm probably on the dissenting side with the discussion we've had. To kind of use your term shortcut, I think it's a function of the board. And I think there has been discussion, we have prior history of all this stuff, that the board, I would like to see a citizen Rod to have the board make a determination that freestanding carports and RV ports, that they be defined as not temporary in the statutes, so there's no about what does this mean, what does this mean? Because I think there's a history and pattern of,
But he stated, okay, can we change that to definition, or is that changing the covenant?
So,
What's the definition of temporary?
okay, so this is technically a version. The committee serves at the pleasure of the board.
Right.
I mean, we.
You make recommendations.
All our job is to look at what the rules say and interpret them, right, and apply them. And so, Ron's absolutely correct. We have two committee members who are completely against any kind of carport because it needs to be a junk collector. I mean, I'm using their words.
Yes.
Right? And so it's not, it doesn't raise the value of the area. And we have three other board members who are like, you know,
Glenn County.
yeah, we don't, it's not a big issue. It's not. The definition, as it sits today, an RV port, especially ones with concrete, would be a
That wouldn't be temporary,
It would not be temporary, it would be allowed,
Yeah.
period. For Rod's suggestion, which I'm not pro or con, Rod's suggestion is to just change the definition and say carports are allowed.
Right, you can just remove temporary and say if you want to put a concrete footing under it, right?
So that there are all kind of options.
I have one question though. So when you read that code, or not code?
Covenant.
Covenant. So if I want to put a temporary storage shed on my building lot,
Sheds are specifically covered and allowed.
Okay.
okay,
I have, actually have a permit also for the shed.
Yep.
That's gonna be right, it's not a concrete pad that we're pouring, it's gonna be, what,
They
10 by
are
20? Huh? They are allowed,
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Okay, good.
Awesome.
so Rod is suggesting that we change the description in our definition, brother? To make it to where carports are not temporary structures?
And I'm,
If they are mounted on
I'm not to
concrete?
be pro or con.
If they are mounted on concrete?
well, I think that there are situations where a carport can't be done on concrete, because there's different types of anchors. You know, there's
Yeah.
spiral anchors, there's.
Sure.
Yes.
I know that, but we're defining whether it's temporary or permanent.
Right, and I think that it's more about, the safety of the structure not blowing away than the expense and maybe a difficulty of installing a foundation and footing. You can always dig a foundation and footing. I don't know for sure, but as an example, maybe a slab home sometimes doesn't require a footing, because you can't put in a slab from anchors isn't acceptable. It's not. I think my fear is we've got a huge history of freestanding carports. We've approved some, and there's a couple of our committee, people who are just, it's just push. What I'm trying to say is, I would like you guys to talk this over, make the decision, because it's gonna go back to the committee. It's gonna be a month, it's gonna be a dog cat fight within the committees and emails and whatever. And I don't know that at this point on this subject, that the committee reflects the opinion of our populace and the board.
My 2 cents is with everything changing, if you have pride of ownership, I don't care if it's a carport, an RV port, a shed, if you make your area look nice, who are we to say, like, I mean, this, and I know you can't be that gray on the area, but I mean, that's just my 2 cents. I mean,
Well, that's part of why we have to find the codes fine.
Also, the thing,
If they start trashing up that
if
area.
you have junk lots
That's
with over
the
volume, I mean, if
That's
you have a
about the way we
carport,
go, yeah.
if you have a carport that's filled with junk, I mean, don't you just find them and get
Now you can just find them, so that place.
Oh, you have, okay.
You already have that.
We have that in place.
Just get
Yeah.
those 3 words in the
I think
definition.
you're stepping on a slippery slope, even if you go that route. The board has yet to address RVs on build lots.
RVs on what lots?
On build lots.
Build lots.
It, I
It
think,
is addressed, because the covenants don't allow them except for temporary camping.
but we do allow it. Let's be honest, we allow it, the RVs are on the lots year round, and it's getting worse by the year. People are buying lots and they're moving RVs on there with absolutely no intentions of taking them on. By the board staying new on this issue, you're exacerbating the problem. It's getting worse, but I can count within the past year and a half, 10 RVs that have been moved on their lots, and I don't know if that those folks have no intention of moving. Some of them, they live by the rules, and they move them off every October, move them back in April. Well, now that they see that others aren't required to do that, now they're keeping them there year round. They say nobody else does it, why should we do it? One of them has a car, has a port over the top.
And I completely agree with you, and I actually was going to possibly step on toes, but facts are facts. I actually don't think that's a board issue. Those are covenants.
It's a covenant, but the board,
Board can't change that.
the board,
Their job is simply
I'm
to
not
enforce.
suggesting they do change it. I'm saying that they enforce the covenants.
Yes.
That is a board issue. Enforcing
Yes,
the covenant.
enforcement is a board
Absolutely.
issue.
And I think
Not what
the
we're
covenant
doing.
is unambiguous. There seems to be all of this stuff, and every time it comes up, the can gets kicked down the road, and nothing is ever done. We've done it for 3 years, it's been the same discussion every single time, and the can just gets kicked further down the road. Something needs to be addressed because it's getting worse.
Yeah, so basically, if I can understand correctly, what you're talking about, every winter, I think there's 3 or 4 months that you're supposed to move the RV off the lot. And then you can come back and be there.
If it's
another-
a- if it's a-
and
October
you're,
to April.
and then you're considered temporary.
Temporary.
Okay.
Right.
There's,
Wonder if they pay money, if they stay there,
pardon me,
but they pay, if they stay there.
Well, we tried to add a mechanism, but it's not that easy.
there's nothing in the covenants that actually allow,
Yeah.
right?
Again, it's not a board choice, it's.
So the problem's not like this, in my case, if I get my cabin built and I got my fifth wheel right there behind it, and I'm living in my cabin, I
That's
can,
allowed because you're building.
I'm building, but I well, I haven't started building because I'm gonna wait until the prices go down.
Where, you said that's allowed, but where is that in the covenant?
Yeah.
That's not in the covenant.
Yes, it is. Yes,
So
it
it's not.
is. I've read that paragraph 100 times.
And
It is-
nowhere in the covenants does it say if you have a permanent structure, you can have an RV park there.
No,
full-time.
While, it says while you're building.
That's
But
not what-
once you
yeah.
build it, you have to move the RV off of it.
Yes.
And it's been an unwritten rule, that if you have a house, why can't you have your camper parked in your driveway?
Because the covenant said you can't have them.
Then, I mean, we have staff members that are doing it. So if we want to open that book,
That lady made a push to have, the way I understood her, year-round camping on the lot. And I never was really sure where it went. My whole deal on the thing was, the
Didn't go
way
anywhere.
it's been, has been perfect. I bring my camper down in all summer, I can take it to the store in the winter, I had no problem with that, to keep people in the ground around it. I'm fine with that.
And, I mean, catch it from both sides, because a lot of people want to come, you know, on the warm weekends in the winter, well, I want to come back to my camper. Well, they're only there for 5 hours and they're gone. Run the lights out.
In the middle of winter, they can't bring their camper down there and stay in their camper.
For the weekend, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But we have some that, you know,
Year round.
have decks built around where they probably couldn't get their camper out if they wanted. You know, it'd be,
I got one next to me that's been there for a decade or longer, and I don't even know now if it's movable. They just want a piece of movie truck to pull out, I don't know if it's there or whatever.
They are planning on trying to pull it out. I talked to them. It's unwritten.
Gerald.
If I understand it right, there's 5 big
That's all I got, Eddie. One, override, usually.
Well, at one time there was 3 against, and 2 in favor. but now
Well, it's
it's-
got to have to go majority rule, I guess, right? Well, you see what I mean.
Right.
I think that's a fine argument.
But that's the
The
reason.
fact is, we as a committee, where it's in the covenant, there is no discussion. Where it's a definitional issue, where it can be changed by this board, right, then that's not.
So,
going to be
in the
carport.
future, as far as carports, if we take out the 3 words, a temporary structure, done.
We can do that?
We can change the definition right now.
Is there wording, my memory's not good enough, though, is there wording as to the, like, foundation issue with
Number 24, carport, a temporary structure intended to provide shelter for vehicles, vessels, etc., generally with all sides open. Period.
We just need to say a structure, right? Take temporary out.
Is this something we can motion to do, Dave?
Need a motion to do that, change the definition.
I make a motion to remove on number 24, a temporary structure from the carport definition.
Is that gonna be okay though, if we just
No,
say
it's not.
carport and
Just take out
provide
temporary.
shelter?
Take out.
Leave a structure.
I make a motion on number 24 to remove temporary from the definition.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done.
Okay, still on that
I'd
subject.
say it's going to be approved this week.
Well, half
We
the
want to
three-fourths of
do,
their,
let's go through the process.
It'll be reviewed.
half the three-fourths of their process was already approved.
We'll do those
It was
$100
just
handshakes.
Hopefully I'll take
Thank you,
care
guys,
of
for
it.
your work.
I do have one more thing.
Yes, sir.
I've got some people that have been broke into down here. They've got a property, Tim, you're gonna have to help me here too. They've got a property that has tree line. They wanna keep that there because of the dust, but also so people can't see into them that well. They have a circle drive, one in, one out. They want gates of some kind, they don't care what. If they have to put in, fancy gates, nice gates that look nice. Originally, they tried to put in cattle gates, just the regular round bar cattle gates. That's not, of a neat, sightly nature. I understand that. But all they're asking is, what can we put up for gates? So we really don't have anything on gates, it goes back to fencing. Am I correct?
Correct.
That's the way you guys are reading it?
Well, I mean, not how we're reading it, so we have fencing regulations. The fencing
Right.
regulations as approved, again, this one is board approval, it's not covenant. Our fencing regulations say that a 30-inch high fence is allowed in the front of your property, not on the easement. So it would be the committee's assumption that a gate must also be 30 inches. 'Cause so,
But
which doesn't protect much, but again, and it's decorative, and again, the regulations talk about what decorative is, what is it, it's not hot wire. It's not hot wire, it's not, you know.
cattle panel.
And so, what we, in this instance, the committee came back and said, hey, we're going to 9 cattle gates, and gave the individuals who are great people, that's
Yes, they are.
great people, said, here's what the fencing regulations say. Try something and send it back to us. So, you know,
Yeah.
I can't tell you what to put in, because I'm, you know, sorry, I didn't go research it and get 3 options. Just, here's what the rule is.
I'm just gonna throw it, doesn't Burton's house have a 8-foot fence all the way around the perimeter of the house?
I don't know all the way around, but I know at some point, I mean, there are sections.
I think he does.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's all the way around.
They're like
It's an
square,
iron
wrought
fence
iron
with
looking.
brick columns
Yeah.
that hold the iron up.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. I can't, I have no magic wand, I can't go back in time
Yeah.
No, that's why I just questioned that. I mean,
Right,
that's-
that's, I can't go back in time, so I just.
So is the technical answer-
What our committee tries to do is to look up, here's what we have, right? This is the articles, these are covenants regulations, these are the building regulations that the board has made, these are the fencing regulations the board has made. So we just look at it and say, it either meets or it doesn't. We try to make stuff up on the fly.
Right.
So right now, the answer is they can have a gate, but it's gotta be 30 inches or smaller.
Unless you guys change that.
Unless we change it.
In my
Unless you
mind,
change it.
because I've lived in a residence that had as a requirement, the gates weren't addressed, so the gates in this community came at an angle, where the two gates met in the middle, they were like 5 feet or 6 feet. And it's pleasing to the eye, does the purpose of, gets the job done, but we don't have, there's no definition of anything like that or a variance, so I don't know what the mechanism is.
If there's not a gate clause in here, a gate definition, isn't that something you guys can just approve or deny based off how you interpret it?
What we try to convey to them and to Steve is, hey, these are the rules, come back in. Give us a shot, right? Something other than a cattle gate.
You want to set up a 30-inch gate, period.
Yeah, we didn't have, we just said, hey, these are the rules.
Don't say you're gonna put up a 5-foot tall cattle
If
gate.
they call it carport, that's what you do that.
These particular people, they border the road. You know, their chances of getting robbed from the county roadside
It's much bigger.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, the gate is just a barrier that they can put a no trespassing sign on, keep the honest people out, you know, it's just sense of security. I mean, there's numerous lots around that have a gate or a plastic yellow chain or cable or anything, just to keep people from driving into their lot. And their particular lot, they do have the circle drive where, I mean, it's easy for somebody to drive in. Once they drive in, they are hidden by the trees.
That's kind of our situation on our lot.
You know, so if you want, and I have another customer over by the 9 acre, he puts up a barricade every time he leaves. It has no trespassing sign on it, serves as a gate, but it's just a temporary barricade that for us to keep somebody from driving in on his property. You know, if they're gonna drive in, they're either gonna have to move it or run over.
You know,
So,
Steve, maybe I'm fairly confident that Rod is completely right. If they came back and said, what's the penalty? It's, has some.
sculpted gate or,
Yes.
or a pipe,
I don't care how
you
tall
know,
it
a
is.
single pipe or a chain or anything less than 30 inches high.
After they build a gate,
Give us a shot.
Yeah.
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 after they put in the gate,
Anything
those
else,
people
Steve?
were talking about having they build a gate, like the Texas jail gate, sticks. Looks to me like it, I don't know.
Anything else?
Is there other committee?
Committee reports, Rod?
Recreation Committee, Hidden Valley is up and running. Hidden Valley Day has been revived, so May 29th, there's gonna be full corn sandwiches and all the fixins. There's gonna be horseshoe tournament, cornhole, pool tournament inside. There's gonna be music in the evening, DJ, and some karaoke. Gonna be entertaining itself. And, future plans for.
Magic show?
Maybe. Depends on if he's gonna drive all night to get back from another gig that weekend, so we'll see how he plays out. But, so, there's gonna be, we are reviving the, bingo's gonna be happening monthly. We're gonna have like a quarterly, Texas Hold'em poker tournament, so things are happening. 29.
Rod?
Yes, Saturday.
Do not leave until I talk to you after
As part of your
That's what
committee,
the finger, that's what the finger wave is.
Well, I've been trying to run you down the last couple of 3 days, man.
What makes you think I haven't seen you?
That's the deal.
hey, Rod, this is for the recreation committee, July 16th, Redneck Golf Tournament down here. So I know you can post that to Facebook or whatever rec committee.
Yeah.
We had probably 18, 20 teams last year, raised $6,000 to $8,000 for the clubhouse, so
We might have a hidden talent team represented.
it's fun. If you like to golf, if you like to play serious, do not join this. It's a fun event. It's
Team, I
yeah,
think I will, yeah, listen.
it's a blast.
That's on a Friday.
Friday, July 16th.
Okay.
Yep.
There's a little bit of alcohol out there on the courts.
Are you done, Rod?
So I'm hoping for.
Are you done?
I'm done.
All right, okay.
Audit committee, we had our first meeting this week. Janet took over as the chairman of the audit committee. I'm the board representative. We met at 4 months instead of 3 because of her being the chairman. She's involved in taxes and she couldn't do it in 3 months. So we had talked about the possibility of instead of doing it quarterly, we do it every 4 months. We've got 4 committee members plus her. That would allow us to do 4 bank reconciliations at the same time, 4 different people do them, and we cut down the number of meetings we have from 4 to 3. So we're just discussing that right now. She didn't get a chance to send me a report. I will report on our meeting that happened this week, next board meeting, but basically everything went well, and I'll get you the details.
The only thing I would say is that, God bless America. People are building things down here, and it's very cool. We're doing our best to do our job against pre-denials.
You had a fun.
You brought the muscle with you tonight.
We are actually looking at stuff.
No, yes, I appreciate
We're doing the
it.
association generally. And so, yeah, it's very, very exciting.
Probably one of the hardest committees.
Definitely.
Hardest work.
It's active, it's real active, all I can say.
You guys deserve it.
Thank you, I don't know about that, but thank him for email and the internet.
Yeah.
Any other committees?
Make a motion to adjourn.
That was an option.
Something this board just might think about.
Okay.
That it would be nice for these committee persons that are serving the association, you guys had a cookout for them or something, just to, tell them nice and, give them a hamburger or hot dog or something, and, make them feel welcome for what they're doing, because it
We
is.
should do like a kitchen grand opening, like a grand opening meeting or something.
That is pretty
It's
good.
supposed to be a surprise.
Anything else? Anybody?
Make a motion.
I have a second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.